Surely many have heard of the traditional Japanese mafia called the Yakuza. This organization is often shown in modern cinema, whether in the films of the incomparable Takashi Kitano or Quentin Tarantino. But few people know how gangsters from the land of the rising sun really live. Today we will analyze a few facts that will help shed light on this peculiar group of spiritualized crooks, who are seriously afraid of ordinary Japanese. 1. Yakuza are like modern corporations. There are currently 4 major syndicates in Japan, each based in its own city. Their structure is such that it is very reminiscent of modern giant companies. They have a headquarters, many branches, partnerships with mafias in other countries and their own traditions. Relations and clans are built on the principle of senpai konhai, i.e., senior and junior. Each position has its own duties and privileges. The younger impeccably obeys the elder and works only under his direct supervision, learning from experience. In other words, this is not a disparate grouping, but a serious structure with a firm labor code. 2. Yakuza, an integral part of society. Indeed, modern Yakuza are closely associated with legal business, politics, and banks. Their main source of income is corporate racketeering. Some companies deliberately resort to the services of the Yakuza to interfere with competitors. In addition, the Japanese government is in no hurry to fight the Yakuza, because they do not see them as a real threat to society, but consider them a necessary evil that keeps street crime in check. This is one of the reasons why Japan is considered one of the safest countries in the world. 3. Yakuza help ordinary people. Calling the Yakuza noble bandits with high moral values would be decidedly wrong. They are just great at PR. When any cataclysm occurs on the islands, the clan leaders send a humanitarian aid literally in convoys of trucks. They also organize refugee centers and other charitable things. They do this, of course, not because of natural altruism, but to improve relations with the authorities and receive preferential contracts for garbage collection and construction. Also, they are rehabilitating their image in the press and among civilians in order to legalize some types of their shadow business. 4. The Yakuza are not only Japanese. The traditional Japanese organization does not consist of only ethnic Japanese. To date, their ranks include at least 10% of foreigners who have integrated into Japanese society. Most of them, of course, come from neighboring Asian countries. However, people of a different race are also not prohibited from joining the ranks of the organization, despite the xenophobia common to all Japanese. 5. A member of the Yakuza cuts off his finger for wrongdoing. As in other similar organizations, the Yakuza have been practicing a method of punishing delinquent brothers for several centuries. Guilty of anything, the junior member of the clan is obliged to come to his immediate commander and, in his presence, cut off the phalanx of the finger. This is done not only to punish the offender, but also as a sign of his devotion to the traditions of the organization. This method of punishment helps to protect the offender from more serious measures. 6. Members of the Yakuza cover their entire body with ritual tattoos. The traditional Japanese tattoo is called urazumi. It depicts myths and legends in a special style, as well as symbolism in the form of a sakura tree and other things. Such a tattoo is inextricably linked with members of organized crime, but it is unusually expensive, because, applied in the traditional way, only very wealthy gangsters can afford it. However, in Japan, absolutely any tattoo is condemned in society and is considered a sign of a bad person. 7. Yakuza still use katana. Of course, ordinary rogues do not use such bulky items, preferring smaller knives, but for high-ranking bosses this is an essential item of status. However, sometimes clan leaders use katanas for their intended purpose. In addition, until the middle of the last century, using firearms was considered dishonorable.